1. This happened a few days ago, and it's still grinding my gears. I was working my usual opening shift that went from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our restaurant opens at 11:30 and is just a little joint, so they only needed one person to set up in the mornings. Opening means I was completely alone in the restaurant until 11:30 when we open, and the hostess and second server come in. This gives me the opportunity to plug my phone into the speakers and play my own music, and do everything perfectly at my own pace. So I go about my business, server 1 and hostess come in just before opening and clock in and whatnot. It's a Saturday, so we get our usual lunch rush, and server 2, the culprit, known here on out as L for liar, comes on at 12:30. Everything goes great. My co-workers are really nice and we're all buddy-buddy, so our teamwork is always on point. I've never had a problem with any of them until now. 3 p.m. rolls around and server 1, whose shift was 11:30 to 4, has stopped taking tables because it was slow, and we always stop taking tables an hour before the end of our shift. 3 is also the time that server 3 comes on, so server 1 leaving early works out because there's enough of us to deal with the lack of customers. So the cast. Me, L the liar, who tried to leave early, J the poor server 3, who didn't know any better. It's around 3:15. Server 1 has done all her side duties and left, and server 4 was scheduled to come in at 4 p.m. Both me and L were scheduled to leave by 5 p.m., so we would stop taking tables at 4. But since it's so slow, there's no need for so many of us. The 3 of us were standing by the bar area where I was drying glasses and L was polishing cutlery. Jay walks over and asks about how slow it is. That's when L pipes up, "You want me to go? I'll go," with a laugh like she's funny. I wanted to tell Jay that I was opener, and since I'd been there longer, I should go first. And my period had started the day before, and my cramps were off the chart. But I didn't want to sound like that bitch, so I kept my mouth shut. Jay half laughed along with Al and said that, "We'll see." Another customer had just come in, so I went to them to assist. The customer was there for takeout, so I took their payment and went to wrap up their order. When I came back to the hostess desk, Jay was standing there looking at the board with the floor plan and the day's schedule. Her brows were furrowed and she looked at me. "Did manager mess up the names? It says that your shift is 10:30 to 5 and L's is 12:30 to 5. I looked back at her in equal confusion. "No, I got here at 10:30. Jay's face goes into a frown. "Then L lied to me. She said she started at 10:30. I felt hurt and a little angry, but before I could say anything, Jay told me I could finish up my last table and leave, and that as punishment for lying, L would have to do my side duties, which was just cleaning the 2 bathrooms. So I served my last table and got to leave by 4:25, which made me a little happier. I didn't exchange any words with Al when I left. I knew nothing nice would come out of my mouth anyways. 2. Picture it. Thanksgiving 1984. The year of Band-Aid. The beauty queen killer was captured in Florida. That'll learn him. Maiden voyage of the Space Shuttle Discovery. People wearing snakeskin belts, game watches on their wrists. Arnold Schwarzenegger was looking for Sarah Connor in the cinema, and Barbie had twirly curls. But we certainly won't hold that against her. And for me, a night filled with back-breaking work. But luckily, I made it out alive, thanks to the amazing team I worked with. I looked forward to the holiday season all year because I didn't have to worry about bills. I worked in fine dining. Anyways, my most memorable table from that night, a duo of Karens as they'd be called now. Only one Karen talks during any exchange at this table, with Karen 2 only interjecting "ohs" and "ahs" while cupping her wine glass like a mug of hot tea. Karen 2 isn't really a Karen actually, more of a Susan, Karen's friend. She isn't really a part of this story and shall henceforth be known as Chardonnay. We did close to 600 covers that day, I being gifted 80 of them, and were open from 11 to 8. But with me as an opener, because my face just screams flexible compliance, I had already been in the restaurant for 8 hours busting ass by the time they sat down at their little two-top at 4. Opener. These ladies were nice and charming, and everything seemed to be going well. Went over our prix holiday menu with them. Took the drink order, started out with a couple Crown highballs, weird but okay, nothing too crazy, and went along with my shift. About 5 minutes later, I approached the table and asked if they have any questions, need any help with the menu, etc. Pretty basic stuff. Karen says, "Oh no, we're just enjoying ourselves. We don't want to order until we have finished our drinks." Okay, that's cool. I'm in no way trying to rush anyone, even though we are slammed. I like people to do things at their own pace. I'd rather be in control of their timing, but every once in a while I don't mind people being super casual if it makes them happy. I, just wish they'd be happier a bit quicker, but I won't rush them. Plus, they aren't taking up any big real estate being a two-top. I continue with my other tables and periodically check over just by looking. 15 minutes go by. Drinks are 75% done. I go over and ask if they'd like to switch to wine, solid read, and they say yes. Chardonnay orders her first Chardonnay, but our lovely lady orders a glass of Ruffino. Our Ruffino BTG is a Moscato. I also convince them to go ahead and order their meals. They go with the prix. I go put their orders in, check on other tables, swing back and collect their glasses from the bar and drop them off. "Excuse me, sir. I didn't order this." "That's the Ruffino Moscato d'Asti. You want a different wine by the glass?" "I ordered a red wine. The Ruffino, this isn't a red wine." "Well, I do apologize. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding. Allow me to fetch a wine list for you to get this resolved." I find that instead of arguing with a guest, even when they are blatantly wrong, it's easier to just find a source material or manager to make things go smoothly. I retrieve a wine list from the hostess stand. "Here we are, miss. This is the only Ruffino ordered by the glass." "No, see, look, Ruffino. It says it's a Chianti. And I know that's a red wine." I'm taken aback. Perhaps I am wrong. Oops. No, she's pointing to the only other Ruffino we have. A $90 bottle of Chianti. "Oh, I'm sorry, miss. We only offer that wine by the bottle. If you'd like a red wine, I can recommend some of my favorites, dependent on your palate." "No, it's a 9-ounce pour, see? It says it right there. 9 ounces. "I do see the 9, miss, but that's the price of the bottle. $90, not the amount we pour into a glass." Karen realized her mistake after I explained it a few more times, and hears the words $90 finally. Quickly backtracks. "Well, I definitely don't want a $90 wine. I just want red." "Of course, I have the perfect glass for you. Our cheapest red wine, at $9 a glass." "It's not a crazy expensive wine, like $17 or something, right? I don't want any of that." I've now upgraded her from miss. "No, ma'am. It's a steal at only $9 a glass, a lovely Cabernet." "Okay, thank you." I take the Moscato back to the bar and wax poetic about why I need a comp. Gracious manager just deletes it instead of counting as a comp. Yay! Thanks. "Hey, where do you think you're going?" "You didn't think we were done, did you?" No. You sit your buns down and get comfortable there. "Oh, here. Have this glass of wine that no one else is drinking." There's more to tell, so here goes. Their first course comes out and they demolish it. Yay, starting to truck along. She loves her cab. Chardonnay is all smiles. Love her. They get cleared and crumbled. I bring over a touch more bread and butter at their request. Entrees are served. 2-bite check. Everything's fabulous. Great. 30 minutes go by. I ask if they're still enjoying their barely eaten entrees. Karen says yes, they're enjoying their time but still eating. Coolio, all good. Another 20 minutes go by. Same thing. Just checking to make sure you're not waiting on me. That's my job. Ha! I die inside. I would like to point out they have been at their table approximately 2+ hours now, and are only about 10% into their entrees, and still have their original glasses of wine. 30 minutes later, Chardonnay wants another glass of wine, and Karen would like their food to be boxed. Of course, would we like to enjoy coffee service with our desserts this evening? "Oh, we're definitely not ready for dessert. I'd like another glass of wine as well." Her glass was half full. It's been well over an hour. "And when we finish those glasses, then we might be ready for dessert." The light inside of me is fading. I'm exhausted. My other tables are almost done, and I want to be free. Oh, of course. Let me get that glass of wine for you. I'm so glad you liked my recommendation. 1.5 hours later, no lie, they finally finished their glasses of wine. It's almost 8, closing time. I come over to see if they would like dessert now. I'm down to my last 5 top that came in when I cleared their entrees, who are currently eating dessert. When I approach them, I do not ask if they are ready for dessert. Instead, I push ahead with, "So, ladies, would we like to enjoy a cappuccino or coffee with our desserts this evening?" "I'll take a decaf coffee." I'm jumping for joy as the end of my night is ahead of me. Wonderful, I'll bring that right out. As I turn to run back to the kitchen and make her a beautiful coffee, she stops me and has a few questions because, of course. "So are you always open on holidays?" "Yes, the only day we are closed is Christmas Day. We are open every other day, every year." "So you're open on New Year's Eve?" "Yes, and New Year's Day as well." "Does it get busy on New Year's Eve like it was today?" I just realized she 100% knew how busy we were, and that didn't affect her meal timing at all. Empathy level 0, which is why I dubbed her Karen. "Yes, incredibly busy. We're open only during dinner service until midnight. Lots of people want to eat a nice dinner before heading out and ringing in the new year. Or before they have to start their New Year diets." "When does it get super busy?" "Usually around 7 to 9 p.m. "So we would be able to make a reservation, no problem. Around when you open then, right?" "Oh, of course. It's usually a little slower earlier in the evening. You shouldn't have a problem. I can even make a reservation for you right now if you'd like." "Oh no, we can do it another time closer to then. You did say you were open until midnight, so I could come in at 5 and then wait until midnight and have a glass of champagne." I'm seeing where this is going, realizing my fate. "I guess, in theory, you could do that." "Splendid. I can't wait to come in on New Year's Eve then. Will you be working?" "Yes. Everyone is required to work all holidays." "Perfect. We will make sure to request you, jaded foe." I'm lying through my teeth at this point, wanting to literally die and beg for my future self's forgiveness. Unlike future me, who's looking back in this moment with his iCars and his electric phones and whatchamacallits. "Oh, yay! That's so exciting! Well, happy Thanksgiving to you both. Let me get your desserts and coffee started." They finally end up leaving at 9:15, being the longest 2-top I'd ever had at this restaurant. They tipped adequately, but not more than 18%, even though they split their tab with cards that could cut a tree in half. They weren't rude or anything out front, just so slow. I will never understand people who go to a restaurant for 5 hours and barely eat anything at all, when it's insanely busy and just camp forever. I feel like I shot myself in the foot by making them regulars, but I can't help it. P.S. Another table of my regulars came in at 8:15. We still had people dining due to overflow, so they were let in, but I couldn't take them because I was cut, even though I was there. They were confused after I told them I was going home soon after being there all day. And then seeing me consistently an hour after that? Oops. It was nice seeing them, though. 3. I've been in this industry for 13 years. Various positions and various styles of restaurants. Currently in a serving gig for a corporate chain restaurant. Yesterday I was serving 2 ladies, one of whom isn't eating as she is sick. She lets me know it's not the flu. "I sure hope you wouldn't be out dining with the flu, lady." Lady 2 is keto, but is treating herself to some carbs this fine Saturday afternoon. You do you, boo. So Lady 2 ordered some bread and her tuna guacamole app. The tuna is an ahi sushi grade tuna. They receive their food. I go do a quality check a few bites in. Now keep in mind Lady 1 isn't eating. "Excuse me, where's the tuna?" Me pointing at a piece of tuna without touching it. "It's right there." Lady 2 now chimes in. "Are you telling me that a piece of tomato is tuna?" Again, I don't touch their food. I'm trying to point at this piece which is tuna.
Tuna is not pink. You're lying. There is no tuna.
Okay, I'll be right back. I realized right away this could be an unnecessary argument and didn't want to make them feel stupid. I thankfully see my manager at the host desk where these ladies are sitting near. Explain quickly to him they don't believe me, and it's best maybe he go explain to these ladies that tuna is A pink-red color, and B, I'm not a liar. He goes, chats with the women, and smooths it all over. He's a friendly gent. I'm sure he flirties his way out of it like we've all done. He tells me they're fine and seem embarrassed. I eventually make my way back over to the table. They both apologize for calling me a liar, and we share a good laugh. Lady 1 apologizes for calling me a wackadoodle, which I need to remember as it's the perfect PG insult. I laugh as I wasn't even aware she called me that. We continued to chat. They asked what another table was drinking, big flashy drink, and if she was even old enough to drink. I assure them the server responsible for that table would have ID'd her, and explain how I also regularly get carded, as I luckily do not look my age.
Well, of course, you're probably only 21. You do look very young.
Well, thank you, ladies. I'm actually 32.
Fuck off.
Lady 2 is laughing. I'm also laughing.
You can't call her a wackadoodle and to fuck off all in the same visit.
Well, I'll take the compliment, ladies, and it's totally okay to tell me to fuck off like that. I really thought these ladies were going to be a nightmare, and they were a light of laughter on a chaotic Saturday afternoon. Also, I should probably remember to tell people the tuna is sushi grade, so I'm not questioned about it being a tomato in future. 4. Still buzzing from my table last night, so I need to vent. I work at a semi-fine dining restaurant in a major city, US, and people go there a lot for special occasions. The holiday rush has been crazy, lots of birthdays and holiday parties and graduations, etc. My last party of 9 comes in dressed to the nines for a girl's birthday. They ask for specific drink choices and prices, and I get them all promptly. Straws and lemons for their water, hot water so they can sanitize their cutlery, you name it. Also give them plenty of space because they're taking lots of pictures, a few group photos which I take. Again, no problems. Both my manager and I ask multiple times if everything's great, including their crazy modified food items. And they tell me it is. Here's where things get bumpy. They ask for split checks, against company policy, but if I'm not busy I do it, because it's not that big of a deal. And they scooched around a lot, so my seat numbers weren't perfect. It took a few extra minutes to get everything separate, and I could tell they were getting frustrated. They keep pointing to the auto-gratuity and were talking to themselves about it. Finally, someone pulled me aside and asked to take off the gratuity, automatic 18%, for parties of 6 or more, which is stated on our website and menu that they all had. I tried my best to keep a smile on my face, since someone basically said to my face that I don't deserve to make a living, and grabbed my manager. She gave the spiel of auto-gratuity, and that we won't be taking it off. Some things I heard as my manager and I were running their payments. If the tip is added this way, then service should be on point.
Well, I read the whole menu and saw nothing about that.
Well, I didn't like this. I shouldn't have to pay for a tip on top of it.
Run this card, and don't put a penny more on it.
They asked for their food to be boxed up, so I had no knowledge things weren't up to their standards. At this point, my manager and I are just trying to get them out of here, so we take a couple things off the bill. It all worked out at the end, and I've dealt with worse. I just can't get over what I could have done more to give them 18% worth of great service. In the end, I know the service was good, they just didn't want to pay for it. Just having someone look you in the eye and say you don't deserve your tip is rattling. I'm dreading going back tonight. 5. Today I had this elderly lady come in. Think Southern matriarch. Hairspray, stiff, teased, blue, grey hair. And an outfit that came entirely from Belk. You know the type. She's a semi-regular. So I know her face but not her name. I greeted her while she was in line and gave her a wave. She came in for a to-go order and wanted a drink while she was waiting. Vodka and sweet tea. No problem. I carded her as I finalized her order and she paid out. She sat at the bar while I made her drink and sat it in front of her. My state has very strict alcohol laws. You can get popped by the ABC for selling to an expired license. You can get popped for not checking the license of someone even if they are clearly old enough. Local police and ABC work together in sting operations. We have open container laws. That means alcoholic beverages in to-go cups are a strict no-go. All liquor must be served in distinctive bar glasses, not regular dining glasses, and definitely not to-go cups. There are personal and professional repercussions, as well as fines and the threat of liquor license removal to the restaurant. It's a very big deal. I've even had ex-cops applaud me for checking licenses, specifically expiration dates. This lady said, "No, my order is to go. I want this in a to-go cup." So I politely told her that I cannot do that due to state law. She tries again with the, "Well, if you can, just hand me the to-go cup and I'll do it." Again, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I cannot do that." At this point, I move the to-go cups out of reach because she is exactly the type that will just reach over the bar for the cups to get what she wants. She hits me with a lie that other girl does it for me all the time. Wrong. I personally know for a fact that no other bartender on our staff would risk their job like that. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not comfortable breaking the law for you regardless of what other people have done for you." "Well, go get me your manager. This is ridiculous," she huffed. I happily complied, gave him the rundown. All he did was repeat what I had told her about state laws. Her food was ready at this point, and she vaguely motions to it and asks him about what he expected her to do now that her food is getting cold. And he told her to drink up. She huffed away after sucking down every last drop of her drink, all the while giving me dirty looks. I put the cups back as soon as she left. I just don't understand why people think that I'm going to risk my job and my money to break the law for them. No one is that special. Needless to say, she didn't tip. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates 75. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. You know, that sort of, that last story, right? Never worked service, but I did work retail where they sold alcohol, as you guys know. Same kind of problems. Always get those people who think the law doesn't apply to them. Nope, I'm not going to get grumpy about it. It's fine. Happy Hellfreezer. Yes, this one goes up on the 21st, I think. Yeah, 21st test goes up. Then I'll get to work on the one that goes up on the 28th soon. Okay. Now, I've been keeping the outros kind of short in most of the videos. A couple of them are a bit longer here and there when I've had things that have popped into my head to say. Quite a long outro on the Christmas Day video. I've actually managed to put together something a bit more uplifting for Christmas Day, so I hope you guys really enjoy that. Okay, I better head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.